Vicky, just tell Andre that they're coming.
Bring it there real quick. All right. No, I didn't buy it.
You didn't?
I thought that's what you had bought it. If not, you'll put fine.
जब नाम सुनावे, नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा, संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे, सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, इनके काज सकल तुम साजा, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है परिसिद्ध जगत उजियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा, तुम्हारे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे, काल रघुकुल पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई, संकट हटै मिटै सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई, जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई, जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होए सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय मह डेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप,
Surin?
Ini kita tunggu.
Check one. बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। Sitaram. We join together this morning in the Antim Sanskar, the last rites of the deceased, BALCHAN, BABWAH, RAMPERSAD. Let me take this opportunity to extend to you, members of the bereaved family, my sincerest condolences on his passing. It was just in June, was it June? We were here when, of course, his dearly beloved had passed on, and he's following her just 6 months later. And of course, my dear friends, all of this is in the hands of Bhagwan. We have come into this world, all of us, with a certain stay, a length of stay, a duration of lifetime, and whenever that expires, of course, no one can deny, no one can delay when that inevitable time would come. And Bhagwan summons us back to him, my dear friends, we respond immediately. And so this morning we pray on behalf of the deceased, BALCHAN, BABWAH, RAMPERSAD, that our Supreme Paramatma Krishna Bhagwan would accept him into his divine embrace. May you, O Lord, safeguard and shelter his journey into Yamlok. May you place your protective hands upon him as he journeys forth into Yamlok. I invite you to stand. The greatest gift that we can give to the deceased right now is to pray on his behalf. We have all come from him, Lord Krishna. And one day will come, my dear friends, we too will have to return as the deceased is doing here today. Let us pray. Hari Om Shri Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Shri Govindaya Namo Namaha Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kansachanudamardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangulam Gaite Girim Yakripatamaham Vande Paramanandam Madhavam Achyutam Keshavam Krishna Narayanam Vasudevam Harim Krishna Damodaram Vasudevam Harim Krishna Damodaram Devaki Nandanam Nandanam Sandahe Devaki Nandanam Nandanam Sandahe Achyutam Keshavam Krishna Narayanam Vasudevam Harim Krishna Damodaram Achyutam Keshavam Vasudevam Harim Krishna Damodaram Vasudevam Harim. Boliye Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Offer the flowers by the foot and bow. Kindly be seated. Let's give him the chandan. Put the chandan first. Join hands, touch hands. Hari Om Shri Khanda Chandanam Divyam Gandharim Sumanoharam. By the forehead, both ears, and under the chin. Chandanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. You can decide, take the essence. Spread the essence over the whole body. Hari Om Gandham Grahana Devasya. Deva Deva Deyanidhi Gandhananam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Mala. Maya Dhini Sugandhini Pushpadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Arti. Five times. Yam Dwari Mahakore Andhini Samashmitam Deepadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Bow right foot. Give him a pinda. Adhya Muggu Gotrasya Mupretasya Pratham Pindadanam Maya Diyati Tavo Patishtatam. See Krishna Arpanam. Offer it in his right hand. You have the gold there. So at the time of death, the 5 pieces of gold are offered. When this gift is given, it's called Sonada, the gift of gold. It goes with the body. Whatever adversities, whatever obstacles he may encounter in his journey forward, this would assist in overcoming such obstacles and impediments. Right, let's stand next to the body. The first one goes on the mouth. Adhyamuk Gotrasya Amupretasya Sonadana Mayadiyati Tavo Pratishtata, both nostrils. These are the 5 possible exits which the Atma, the soul, would have left the body. And the eyes, Sarvapitrayebhyo Namo Namaha Sonadana Mayadiyati Tavo Pratishtata. Good. Just bow and stand one side. Next. Offer Chandan. Same spots. Om Shri Khanda Chandram Divyam Gandhadim Sunubharam. By your ears. Bilepanam Surashishtam under the chin. Right. Offer essence. Gandham Grhana Divasya Gandhadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Offer the mala. Mayadini Sugandhini Mayadini Nive Prabhu Pushpadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Repeat 5 times. Yam Dwari Mahaguri Andhini Samasmatam Deepadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Bow. Next, Chandan. For it first, ring finger. Shri Khanda Chandanam Divyam Gandhadim Sumanoharam by both eyes. Bilepanam Surashishtam Chandanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. For the essence, Gandham Grhana Devasya Gandhadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. For the mala, Malayadini Sugandhini Pushpadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. And repeat 5 times. Yam Dwari Mahaguri Andhini Samashmatam Deepadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Bow. Next, offer Chandan. Shri Khanda Chandanam Divyam Gandhadim Sumanoharam Chandanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Both ears. Shift the mala a little bit. Next side. Chandanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam under the chin. Offer the essence. Gandhadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Mala. Malayadini Sugandhini Pushpadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Five times. Regularity. Yam Dwari Mahagode Andhini Samashtatam Deepadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Bow. So we want to invite other family members to come forward now and offer. We still have one in mind. Right, Chandan first. Khanda Chandanam Divyam Gandhadim Sumanoharam Chandanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Malayadini Sugandhini Pushpadanam. Let's straighten it. Pushpadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. The essence is right there. Gandham Grhana Devasya Gandhadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Clarity. Yam Dwari Mahakori and Hiri Samashritam Deepadanam Mayadiyati Tavo Pratishtatam. Alright, so we want to invite all the family members to come forward now. We have flowers here, we have the arati. You give them the mala, use all the mala first and then go to the flowers. And as you are paying your respects to the deceased, we'll sing a few appropriate bhajans. So we start with the ones that you have in your pamphlet. Jai Krishna Hare, Shri Krishna Hare, Dukhiyo ko dukha dur kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare, Jai Krishna Hare, Shri Krishna Hare, Dukhiyo ko dukha dur kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare. जब चार तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो। जब चार तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो। और कोई न खेवन हारा हो, फिर तू ही बेड़ा पार करो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे। पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा, पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा। जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे, जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करिए। Whatever dukh, whatever difficulties and obstacles may lie in my pathway ahead in my journey, O Lord, may these be removed by virtue of your blessings. And also in your pamphlet, you will see Itana Tukarana Swami, Jab Pran Tan Se Nikali. Whenever that final moment of life may come, my Lord, may you bless me. Govinda Nama Lekar, that I will take your name. Tab Pran Tan Se Nikali. Shri Ganga ji ka tat ho, Yamuna ka tat nikat ho. Bless me so that I'll see you, I'll get your darshan upon the banks of the Ganga and the Yamuna. Shri Vrindavan ka thal ho, Vishnu charan ka jal ho. Bless me so I'll get your vision, your darshan in Vrindavan. That your holy waters of the Ganga would be placed upon my lips. That tulsi, that gift of gold would be offered upon my lips. So that my way ahead, my journey ahead, O Lord, would be clear and free of all obstacles and impediments. Itna tu karna Swami, jab pran tan se nikle, Govind naam lekar, tab pran tan se nikle. Itna tu karna Swami, जब प्राण तन से निकले। श्री गंगा जी का तट हो, यमुना का तट निकट हो। Let's put back a camp for this. श्री गंगा जी का तट हो, यमुना का तट निकट हो। और सावरा निकट हो, जब प्राण तन से निकले। इतना तू करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले। श्री वृंदावन का छल हो, विष्णु चरण का जल हो। श्री वृंदावन का छल हो, विष्णु चरण का जल हो। मुखरे में तुलसी दल हो, जब प्राण तन से निकले। इतना तो करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले। मेरा सावरा खरा हो, तिरछा चरण धरा हो। मेरा सावरा खरा हो, तिरछा चरण धरा हो। बंसी का सुर भरा हो, जब प्राण तन से निकले। इतना तो करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले। सिर सोहता मुकुट हो, मुखरे पे काली लत हो। सिर सोहता मुकुट हो, मुखरे पे काली लत हो। यह ध्यान मेरे घत हो, जब प्राण तन से निकले। इतना तो करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले। जब कंठ प्राण आवे, कोई रोग ना सतावे। जब कंठ प्राण आवे, कोई रोग ना सतावे। यम त्रास ना दिखावे, जब प्राण तन से निकले। इतना तो करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले। इतनी मेरी अरज है, मानो तो क्या हरज है। इतनी मेरी अरज है, मानो तो क्या हरज है। वह आपका फरज है, जब प्राण तन से निकले। इतना तो करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले। जब प्राण तन से निकले। जब प्राण तन से निकले। बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। And of course, ever popular, आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला. Into this world we have come alone. One day, my dear friends, we too shall have to leave, as the deceased is leaving us here today. Whoever is born must die. This we know, this we understand. Yet it is sometimes very difficult for us to accept. We're just here for a short time. Do din ki zindagi hai, do din ka mela. Do not become lost and distracted in this world, but instead remain focused on that Supreme Paramatma Krishna Bhagavan. We have all originated from him, and one day we too shall have to return to him. Kahe tu aya jagami, from where have you come? The second verse asks us a very simple question. And if you ponder upon that, of course, most people would respond in a physical address, a physical abode, Penal Rock Road, San Francisco, Baracto, as the case may be. But the true answer, the correct answer to that question, from where have we come? We have come from Lord Krishna in Vaikuntha. And kya tujhko karna? It follows up with the second question. What are you doing here? Very simply, my dear friends, we are trying to return from where we have originated. We have originated from him, Lord Krishna, in Vaikuntha, and our purpose is to return to him. Sadly, many come into this world and become lost. They abandon their pathway in life and so never return to that Supreme Paramatma. He is there, ready, and willing to accept us into his divine embrace, my dear friends, once we follow the correct pathway in life. आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला.
I can do art, yeah?
You will not.
That is song art.
Yeah, no. he would have been doing arati for you. So you just offer the flower and pray for him. आए भी अकेला जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है 2 दिन का मेला। जीने के लिए है तूने महल सजाए, मतलब के यार सारे सभी है पराए। जीने के लिए है तूने महल सजाए, मतलब के यार सारे सभी है पराए। इनके लिए है कितना तूने दुख झेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है 2 दिन का मेला। काहे तू आया जग में क्या तुझको करना, नेकी करम कर ले दुनिया से डरना। काहे तू आया जग में क्या तुझको करना, नेकी करम कर ले दुनिया से डरना। पाप की अगन में खुद को काहे को धकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है 2 दिन का मेला। हरि की शरण तू हो जा ध्यान लगा ले, जीवन मिले ना फिर ये जीवन को पाले। हरि की शरण तू हो जा ध्यान लगा ले, जीवन मिले ना फिर ये जीवन को पाले। खेल जगत का सारा उसी ने है खेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है 2 दिन का मेला। ये जिंदगी है प्यारे एक झूठ सपना, गैरों की दुनिया में नहीं कोई अपना। ये जिंदगी है प्यारे एक झूठ सपना, गैरों की दुनिया में नहीं कोई अपना। सबके रहते हुए मैं हूँ अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है 2 दिन का मेला। It says in the last verse, ये जिंदगी है प्यारी एक झूठ सपना. This life itself is like a false dream. Lord Krishna says in the pages of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, what is yours today was someone else's yesterday, and will become someone else's tomorrow. As we often say, we come empty-handed, we leave empty-handed. We take nothing along with us. So when the bhajan says this life is like a false dream, in this dream of life, all of this is ours, all of this land, all of this house, all of this money, and land and gold and motorcar and so on is ours. But in reality, even this body does not belong to us. At the final moment, until even this body is given up. Then who are you? Lord Krishna had asked that question to Arjuna. Who are you? Oh Arjuna, are you this physical body? Or are you the soul or the Jiva Atma? And the true you and the true I, my dear friends, is not what we are looking at. The true BALCHAN is not what is lying before us. The true BALCHAN hovers around us. It is that immortal, unborn, that which will not die, that Jiva Atma which has come from the Paramatma. So death occurs to the physical body. Birth is given to this physical body. Death occurs to this physical body. But this physical body, my dear friends, is merely a vehicle that takes us across this Bhavasagar, across this ocean. The true you, the true I, is that unseen Jiva Atma. The time of death, in a very tiny form which is called Angush Mat, the tip of the finger. This is the size of the soul. The doctors will do scan and X-ray and MRI and tell you about the heart, the kidneys, the lungs and so on. But nobody has developed an X-ray as yet. That technology will never be developed to tell you about the soul. Yet without the soul, this body is non-functional. The moment the soul exits from this physical body, this body becomes deceased. So integral and important and critical, my dear friends, is this tiny entity. How can such a tiny entity bring intelligence and life and vitality and strength and power to this entire body? You have a smartphone, and incidentally inside your smartphone is a little tiny SIM card, just about the tip of your finger as well. And as smart as the phone is, without the SIM card it becomes inoperable. That tiny SIM card brings functionality to that intelligent phone or smartphone that you have, that you can stand here in Pinal and communicate with people in Port of Spain and New York and Toronto and London and so on. Similarly, this tiny entity, the soul, the body, becomes non-functional the moment Lord Krishna commands that soul, "Hey Meri Atma, come to me, O Atma, Abachal Karale Milan," as this next bhajan would describe. It is time for us to meet again. Now that statement implies, when he says, "Abachal Karale Milan," it is time for us to meet again. Let me give you an example. If I say to you, "It's nice to see you again," that implies I would have met you previously. And if it's the first time I'm seeing you and I say, "Look, it's nice to see you again," you say something wrong with Baba, yes? First time he's seeing me and he says, "Nice to see you again." So when Bhagavan says, "Abachal Karale Milan," come, it is time for us to meet again, it implies and it reminds us, my dear friends, that we were previously with him in his heavenly abode. He has given us a certain mission, a certain allotment of time, be it 50 years, 75 years. The deceased father has made it to 82. My father is also 82. They were classmates. When I left home this morning, he said, "Say goodbye to my classmate for me." He's also 82 years old. And increasingly we are finding that not many of our people would make it to that age, my dear friends. Our people are dying at younger and younger ages. However it is, we all come into this world with a certain allotment of time. And whenever that time expires, Bhagavan communicates with the Jiva Atma. He says, "Abachal Kadale Milan," come, it is time for us to meet again. Notice, the communication is not made to the gross body. This body is of two major components. You have the gross body, the physical body, but this physical body is incapable of receiving that divine communication. It is only the Jiva Atma, which has come from the Paramatma, can intercept and receive that divine communication. And so upon receiving that communication, my dear friends, the Atma, as we described in the tiny form of the Angushma, the tip of the finger, departs this physical body. And of course, once that occurs, death takes place. And of course, that body is pronounced dead, my dear friends. The body is returned to the 5 elements, but the true nature of the deceased moves on and journeys on into Yamlok. So this is one part of the journey. As we described, this body is merely a vehicle to take us across this part of the journey. And when this part of the journey comes to an end, the Atman will enter into a new body, which is called an intermediate body. Now all peoples, now science agrees as well, that there's a journey that lies ahead. People who have had near-death experiences, perhaps you have read of these from time to time, will relate to you, that they have seen, beyond this world, that something exists, which has always been described in the Hindu scriptures. So there is a world after ours. So this is Yamlok. Where we are is Mrityulok, and where we are going is Yamlok. Lok means planet. So Mrityulok, where we are, is a place where birth and death occurs. And Yamlok, of course, is the journey that takes place after death. And so we all, my dear friends, will have to embark upon this journey at some time. But having cast aside this body, how does the Atma journey forward? This tiny form is not a suitable vehicle to journey forward. Lord Krishna says, you cannot cut it, you cannot wet it, you cannot burn it. It is totally unalterable and entirely indestructible, O Arjuna, because it has come from me. Just as I am indestructible, you know, when Lord Krishna died, he did not die in the sense of someone passing on. When his time came to an end, when Krishna avatar came to an end, there was an ascension that took place, my dear friends. He merely left this earth and journeyed back to his heavenly abode. 7,000 years ago, when Lord Rama avatar came to an end, he did not die. For God is not subjected to the processes of aging and disease, as we are subjected to the processes of aging and disease and sickness. At the time of Sri Ram's ascension back to his heavenly abode, he entered into the Sarayu River. And it is described that brilliant light was seen and the Lord simply disappeared from the waters of the Sarayu River. So an ascension took place. So God does not die typically as you and I are subjected to birth and death and aging and sickness and disease, but he merely returns, my dear friends. So he says to Arjuna, in describing the nature of the soul, it is unborn, it does not die, it is totally indestructible. But the Atman needs a suitable vehicle, O Arjuna, to journey forward. And so on the 13th day, my dear friends, counting from today, when the Shraddha or the Bhandara has been completed, the Atman receives an intermediate body called the Stool Sharir that is created by the offering of all the pillars. You see, everything we do has a certain reason, my dear friends. So Garud Puran tells us when you offer the first pillar, it goes towards the reconstitution of the head. The second and third begins to form the shoulders. The fourth and the fifth begin to form the chest cavity. And so all of the pillars goes towards the reconstitution of that intermediate body called the Stool Sharir. And it is this body which travels with the speed of the wind. For 86,000 yojanas must be completed in 1 year. And one yojan, the yojan by the way is the Hindu measure of distance, one yojan is approximately 8 miles. In order to complete this very lengthy journey, a suitably equipped vehicle is given to the Atman. Let me give you an example. If you're traveling to New York or to Toronto, wherever you're going to, when you leave home, you will get into your motor car and you will get to the airport. At the airport, you will get into an aeroplane, an aircraft. You change vehicles, isn't it? For the motor car is not capable of traveling, my dear friends, the distance from Piyaku to your final destination. It does not have that speed to gain the altitude and so on to travel, to get you to your final destination. So one vehicle is suitable to take you to a particular point, and then of course you get into a more equipped vehicle to take you to your final destination. Similarly, this body is merely a vehicle that takes us across this Bhausagar. And when this part of the journey comes to an end, the Atman on the 13th day gains the ultimate vehicle of the Stool Sharir that travels with the speed of the wind, my dear friends, that enables the prey to complete that journey in a timely manner at the end of 1 year. So this bhajan, you see the bhajan has so much meaning. This bhajan that we sing here now tells us of all of this. Ay meri Atma, come to me, O soul, O Atma. Abachal Karale Milan, it is time for us to meet again. Jyoti Bindu Paramatma se Ay meri Atma Abachal Karale Milan Abachal Karale Milan Abachal Karale Milan परमानंदक अनुभव कर तू, परमानंदक अनुभव कर तू, धन्य बना जीवन ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से। ऐ मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन। प्रभु की प्राप्त का मूल मंत्र है संपूर्ण समर्पण। ये आत्मा चल प्रभु को सौंप दे, तू सारा जीवन हो। देख प्रभु तेरे निकट विराजे हो, देख प्रभु तेरे निकट विराजे, कर ले अभिवादन ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से। ऐ मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। ज्योति बिंदु के प्रेम सिंधु ने चल आज नहा ले। परम पिता का प्रेम पात्र बनकर तू शुभ वर पाले हो। किरण किरण को निरख नयन से हो, किरण किरण को निरख नयन से, हो जा मन में मगन ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से। ऐ मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। I'll do one more bhajan and then we'll have the eulogy. Very simple. तुम ही हो माता पिता, तुम ही हो बंधु सखा, तुम ही हो. It describes that mother and father is not just mother and father alone, but they are like a friend. They are a total source of support in this universe. They become our dearest companion and support. तुम ही हो साथी, तुम ही सहारी, कोई न अपना सिवा तुम्हारी. Without you, we have no one else to fall back upon. And of course, my dear friends, ultimately, mother and father are taken away from us, but we remain with, of course, their legacy, their memory, their teachings, their lessons in life. What they have taught us, of course, should not be abandoned. They were great and intelligent people. They were knowledgeable individuals. They understood what this journey of life was all about. And they left this legacy, my dear friends, of culture and religion for us. This is a gift that they have placed in our hands. This is something that we now cherish, my dear friends, and take it forward with us. And of course, nurture it and nourish it so that we ourselves can pass it on to our children. You are mother, you are father, you are brother and friend. You are our dearest companion and support in this world. तुम ही हो माता पिता, तुम ही हो बंधु सखा, तुम ही हो माता पिता, तुम ही हो बंधु सखा, तुम ही हो साथी, तुम ही सहारी, कोई ना अपना सिवा तुम्हारी. तुम ही हो साथी, तुम ही सहारी, कोई न अपना सिवा तुम्हारी. तुम ही हो नैया, तुम ही खिवैया, तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा तुम्ही हो माता पिता तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा तुम्ही हो। जो खिल सके ना वो फूल हम हैं, तुम्हारी चरणों के धूल हम हैं। जो खिल सके ना वो फूल हम हैं, तुम्हारी चरणों के धूल हम हैं। दया की दृष्टि सदा ही रखना, तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा तुम्ही हो माता पिता तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा तुम्ही हो। बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। First we'll have the Eulogy now, and Sally is reading the Eulogy for us.
Namaste. Officiating Pandit Rajendra Maharaj, my friend of 41 years, and like his father and my dad, we were also classmates. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Today, 6 months and 20 days after we said goodbye to our mom, we are now gathered here to say goodbye to our dad, BALCHAN RAMPERSAD. Born on 1st November 1940 and departed on 23rd December 2022. It marks the end of an era for us as a family. As I share the eulogy with my brother Ren, my reflections on my dad is not going to be a biography of his life. Those who knew him knows that he had what his life was like. It was filled with many challenges and hurdles, but it was also filled with times of joy and happiness. He and my mom worked hard to provide the best that they could for their children and grandchildren. They instilled great values in us, not by words, but by action and what we believed in. Today I stand here not to represent myself or my siblings, but rather to represent his grandchildren. 3 of whom live in Germany and the rest here. I know the ones in Germany would like me to express their sentiments along with those here. I am especially representing Andre and Avani, both of whom share a special bond with their papa, and he with them. Andre is just too grief-stricken to speak on his papa's behalf because he was supposed to be doing this part. It would be an injustice to both Andre and his papa to not have their sentiments expressed. To Andre, his papa meant the world. And while I attempt to bring some sentiments on their behalf, I will never be able to express it the way that they would have wanted it to be. Their papa was kind, loving, patient, and generous. He always gave them money religiously for birthdays, Christmas, and every visit, and just for soup. He played with them even when he was tired. He and my mom were their parents, especially to Rehan and Andre, taking care of both of them. They took care of them as their own, for they were their parents and babysitters as I went to work. This occurred straight on to their teenage years. Many would remember him taking them as babies for morning walks to sun them out, and even evening walks as well, where they would socialize with everybody and every family as they walked from here to up the road. To their grandchildren, they were the best grandparents. They taught them empathy, kindness, care, compassion, generosity, moral values, and the value of hard work. Andre was his papa's shadow. They spent the most time together, and they were the apple of each other's eyes. Everybody knew that. But with no jealousy in their heart. Wherever his papa went, Andre followed. He got his love for fishing from his papa. They would spend hours talking about fishing and fixing and rigging up their fishing rods and lines. He would use his papa tools to make things. He would do work around the house and in the garden, or just spend time talking, or just sitting in the hammock. They went fishing on many occasions. First, his papa taking him as a child, and then later on, he as an adult taking his papa fishing. Their papa loved all their grandchildren and treated them fairly. They meant the world to him, and they gave him his life meaning and joy. I know they all loved him, and he knew that too. Words cannot begin to express how they felt about him. But I would like to share a few quotes that I know would mirror what their thoughts are like. There is only one happiness in life: to love and to be loved. Love is not what you see, love is what you do. When you love what you have everything you need. If I know what love is, it is because of you. To the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. I also wanted Cindy, our caregiver, to Dad and Mom, to share her sentiments, but she too was too grief-stricken to speak. So I will speak for her. In the past 14 months, Cindy got to know Mom and Dad and grew to love them dearly as her own parents. She was kind, generous, patient, caring, compassionate, and truly loving to them. She started as a caregiver, but soon became a daughter to them. Her bond to Papa got stronger after Mama's death, and she became the child who was spending the most time with him over the past 6 months. She braved flood waters to get to her Papa. She would call him even when she was not working. She took him to the grocery, doctor, bank, to pay bills, to visit friends and relatives, whatever we couldn't do. She never hesitated to do anything for him. He also treated her as his daughter. She was present when both Mom and Dad passed away. She was here with me when Mom passed away, and she was there with Dad. And we would eternally be grateful that somebody close to him and dear to him was present with him at his time of death. So we are eternally grateful for all that she did for our parents, and words cannot express our gratitude for all that she has done. Thank you for your love and dedication to both our parents. We also wish to thank all our spouses, family members, and relatives for their love and support, especially over this 14-month period. It meant a lot to us. My siblings and I are thankful for the love and support that my dad gave to us. He also knew that we loved him and was grateful for the love and support that we gave to him and Mom. He was very proud of us and his grandchildren. Words cannot begin to express how we feel, not just about him, but both of our parents. And the time that we spent with them will always be cherished. And I know that you can never feel like you've done enough for your parents. That is a natural feeling. But we would have done the very best that we could have done for both of them. And I think everybody who knew us and knew what was going on knew that we spared nothing, absolutely nothing, in taking care of them. And it was our pleasure and our duty and an honor to do that. And I just want to share one thing. As I said, this speech is really not from me or my siblings, but I would just want to share one thing on my part before I pass you on to my brother Ren. My dad said the most profound thing to me that anybody has ever said. On the day of my mom's funeral, he and I went to the creek. He was in my car. And as we journeyed from here to the creek, he spoke the entire length of that journey. And I was glad to just have that private moment with him. And he spoke and he said that from the time my mom was pregnant with all of us, from the time he knew to the time we were born, he prayed every single day for the best qualities and the best children that he could have. And he told me that he believed he received those blessings. And when I thought that was it, he said to me, I'm the second born. My sister, myself, and then my two brothers. And he said to me that when my mom was having me, he prayed to have a beautiful child. And a loving child. One who would be a rose among thorns. And he said he got it. And it came from his heart. And it is the most profound and self-fulfilling and genuine thing anybody has ever said to me. And I am glad that he had that private time to say it to me before he passed on. And I just want to finish with that. And I'll pass you on to him.
Good morning all, sit down. This man that you have seen before us today is an exceptional, wonderful, caring person that everybody knew differently. And everybody had their own ideas and thoughts on what he meant to them. From a child growing up, we didn't get to fully know our father because he was too busy doing things his way. Everybody who knew him would know that he was a very independent person, very hard-working person, a very loyal person, and a very loving person. He was a fighter. I think my dad grew up a very tough life, as most people, but his was exceptional because his dad was very tough on him, and in some ways created him and molded him in good and bad ways to the man he became. Tough childhood. He was, and later when I found out, he described himself as a man who loves agriculture, because that's what he grew up. From planting rice with his mom and doing all the hard work, planting garden and stuff. And he has a green thumb. And everybody here, without exception, would know that when they come here, whatever is in the garden, he would reap and he would share it for every single one. And that's one thing that we learned as children, is that the giving and the generosity that came from both my parents actually. But he had a really big heart and a really soft heart. A very stubborn and hard-headed person as well, but that came with the territory. It's only the later part of the years we got to know my dad differently, and he went through phases in his life where he was a limer, a smoker, a drinker, and he didn't have to go to any sessions or any therapy or anything like that to give up these things. He woke up one day and he said, I have big children, I have to quit smoking, and he did that. He stopped drinking, and he did all those things because he understood the values of family life and the importance of setting examples. Now both my parents never sat us down and spoke to us. It was not formal education, it was not a classroom session, it was not a therapy session. But they taught us every single day about how to live. And if we take a little bit of what they tried to teach us, we would reach very far in life. I think all my siblings and my nieces, nephews, daughter, everybody has learned so much from them just by being around them. Yes, so my dad taught me valuable lesson very early in life about greed. Because when we were young, growing up, it was mostly my elder sister Grace and I, and we had to share. Because they couldn't afford to buy the luxuries and all the goodies and everything else that all the kids today are so accustomed to. So we had to share a juicy soft drink. You all remember juicy soft drink. You pour it in the glass and she got a little more than me. And I was upset and I was, what do you call it, chul child? Yeah, so I was like that, and it's probably the only time in my whole life that my father came and hit me one slap on my back. And he was a big man to me, with very strong hands, and he was a tough guy. I got one slap on my back and he said, don't be greedy. Right? And that was it. I didn't have to learn anything else. Nobody ever had to tell me anything else after that about greed. Because I learned from then on that don't be greedy. And later on, I worked with my dad on the road for a little while because he was a road overseer. And I was probably 21 or 20 and at the time, and feeling like a big man. And right outside here, one of his workers, Mr. Balu, or Uncle Balu, as I learned later on, he's much older than me, of course, and probably older than my dad. And I went up to him thinking like a big man and said, Balu. I addressed him as Balu, and he said, the dad said, it's Mr. Balu or Uncle Balu. And that was it. He didn't have to say anything else, but we knew, I knew, from then on, to respect the elder people. And show the respect, and they have a title and they have a handle to go with it, we have to do that. Right? Coming to my dad on a different level, I would say he was a tough guy. He was feared by some people. He was respected for his toughness. But what every single child who has touched their lives in some way would know that he was the most loving person and had the biggest heart. And Alice could tell you from the time of the passing of her dad, who was also the closest sibling to my dad. He grew her up and Cindy as his own, and he would not hesitate in 1 minute to run across by them, pick her up, bring her here, and Alice would be crying non-stop all the time as a baby. But that didn't matter. She learned love, and she loves him, I think, more than most people here, because she knew him inside out. Cindy as well. And and it went down from, it was everybody. It was Stefan, it was Andre Rehan, who grew up here, and later on Tristan, who would come and visit her at Grandpa all the time, and everybody else, know him as a generous person, a loving person. And I think my mother couldn't understand how it is that all the children would gravitate towards him, because he is a tough guy, a tough, hard-working guy who, as you can see from his structure, his demeanor, everything else, that's how he grew up. And all his friends would know him from, Lyman and whatever else. I didn't know things about my dad until a few months ago, because then we started talking and started opening up some more. I didn't know my dad used to play football. A few months ago I took him for a long drive, and we went to have something to eat in Chagonas, and we went to Nolly's Tunnel. On the way back we were passing through Reform. And he said that, we played football here, we came down the side, and some fellas really beat us. They hit us, the 16 goals or something like that. It was, I said, but I didn't know you used to play football. He said, we used to just go and kick the ball and stuff. So I didn't know he used to play football, he used to play volleyball, he was a sportsman. I guess that's where I got a lot of my, genes from, and his siblings as well, But so I didn't know he was a footballer. I didn't know that my dad had aspirations when he was very young. He tried to join the army. I don't know how much people know that he tried to join the army, but he had a busted eardrum, so he failed the medical, so he didn't get there. And he tried many things. He and my mom worked really hard, and they tried almost everything. They planted rice, they planted vegetables and things to feed us. They tried chickens, they tried rearing cows, goats, name it, agriculture-wise. He said he used to plant carrots and all those cauliflower and all those exotic things too. Really hard worker. Really, really hard worker, and he taught us the values of hard work without telling us that this is what we needed to do. Right? I don't want to say too much more about how he treated us, but I want to speak a little bit about the love that he grew, that he shared with my mom, that grew over the years, because it leads us to where he is today. I think it's from the time that he retired, and I had a long chat with my dad at some point in time, and he said it was an arranged marriage. He did not love his wife. He said he did not even like his wife. All through the years of having children and all that, you know, he took very good care of us. He took very good care of the family. But he didn't know love in his heart because he did not receive love as a child growing up. He received a lot of hate and anger, and that molded him differently. And he grew up in a tough way, a tough life from then. But I think it was when he retired and he started spending time with my mom, he understood what love was. And he loved his wife, and he, for the last almost 25 years, he said it was genuine love. And it was really tough on him when my mom had the stroke and when she was bedridden. And it was maybe a little bit easier for us as the outsiders to see that she was fighting and she was making progress. But him seeing her every single day, I think the small increments and changes that she was making to improve herself, he couldn't see it. And so he was very disturbed and hurt and somewhat depressed the manner in which she was. And that took a big toll on him, and that took him down apart from being a very strong guy who could go and work in the back for hours and hours, you know, to somebody who at 9 o'clock would be wanting to sit in the recliner and take a nap, right? Many of you might know that my dad went through his own struggles medically when we found out stuff like he had 2 big clots on his head and he had to do major brain surgery. At the same time, we found out that he had suffered some big heart attack and only 40% of his heart was functional. But even then, that was when he was 75, even then he would still go and work as hard as he could and push himself beyond the limit sometimes. And so with that in mind, knowing that, again, he taught us the lesson that despite what struggles that we have and whatever we are facing in life, that we still have to push on and push the limits. But the point I was making is that when my mom started to go down, he basically gave up as well. And he was ready to go. And when she died, he said he was ready to go, but he would just wait on his time. And I think this period here and everything that's happened for a reason. I wasn't supposed to be here until last night, but I came home a few weeks earlier and I got to spend some time with him. And I got to see the last bit of my dad. The morning before he passed, I spent the night here, and it was pleasant. It was pleasant. Normally, I learned also to be a bit quarrelsome from him, and so I wanted to quarrel with him in the morning for trying to heat up a plastic bottle with coconut oil because it was frozen because the place was cold. You know, it's solidified, and I had to resist from that because I said, no, she is his own way, and if it bursts, well, it bursts. You know, that's all right. But yeah, as I said, he liked to do things his own way, but I got to spend a little time with him, and he was at peace. He was at peace this last few days. He was ready. I think he was a little bit concerned about Christmas, and you know, we went to groceries, we bought the things and all that stuff. Maybe he wasn't sure how many, who would have come to visit him for Christmas, so he made sure that all of you all came for Christmas to visit him, all right? So I think that's he had planned this. He was ready to go, and he went very peacefully because he went, my cousin, who was his nephew from his sister, he died a few weeks ago, and it was his Bandara, and he went to visit and he went to eat. He had plans. Cindy said in the morning he shaved, and she asked him, "Papa, you shaving?" He said, "Yes, Gila, have a date. Have a date today." And so that was his date. His date is to go back and meet his wife and to spend the time with his wife now, because that's where they belong together. And I wouldn't say much more than that. I think that, as I said, he's really blessed, and he has blessed. All of you all have been blessed to have known him in some way, and he has blessed to touch everybody's lives. And today is a marker of what he meant to everybody, because we all could be home now, planning, cooking, doing whatever you all had to do, but to come out and celebrate this last few minutes with him is testament to the man that we see here, who lying here and looks, as I said this morning, like a statesman with his outfit, and it's so fitting that he should look like that, because very handsome man, you know, he took pride in himself, and without ever being boastful or egotistic about it. But yeah, a wonderful man that we have all learned a lot from. And I'll leave the floor open for anybody who wants to say a couple of words before we move to the final show. Oh, please.
Good morning, all. On behalf of our family, as in the big brother, from the small sister, from the last one, you know, we had 10 of us, 10 siblings. It's amazing to know that we boiled up to 5, and it feels like nothing. It really feels like nothing. And you know, in the time of death, in this time, I'd like to talk a little bit about life. You know, because he gone. It was the first 5, now today is marking the first 5 of us has gone, and he left the last 5 now. I can't tell him anything now, but I can tell him the rest of my siblings, I love you all. And you know, I just talk frank, and I'm wondering, who is next? Out of the 5 of us, who is next? So I'd like to say I love you all. To my nieces and nephew, I know it will mean a lot to say I love you all. It does make sense telling them when they're in a box like this. They're not hearing anything. So we are born into a family, we are born into a home, we are born into a village. Go home, make your place, make your village, make your little vineyard that is, make it the best. You are there to serve your family. Love them. Love them. The differences we have, it is just for a little moment. Go home and make your little vineyard the best. Love each other. Love your home, love your family. To my siblings that are grieving, we love you. when Ren was talking so much about beg, shaving, I could only imagine Papa, how shaving was a big thing, how they would put their glass and, I mean, they like to look nice, you know, they like to look nice. Papa, you know, shaving was a big thing and they really like to look nice. And when you talk about, you know, calling Balu, Mama always say, Moi always say, put a handle to it. Always put a handle to it. So you always have to think about, hey, Mosi or Mosa. And I used to always mix it up because I couldn't understand that, you know, it's the father side or the mother side, but you know you have to remember, put a handle. So our parents grew up as well, and it passed on. So to all, today is Christmas Day. Go home, love your family, make a difference in the world, in the little circle that you have. That's what we're called to do. We can't make the whole world, but we can make a difference in our home, in our family, in our little village. So I want to thank you on behalf of our big brother. The first 5 has gone. The latter 5 make a difference. God bless.
Thank you. And to Ren and Sally, thank you for the eulogy and of course a very colorful description of both parents and of course the tremendous impact that you would have had upon the children and extended family and indeed the community in terms of transferring their values to those around them. And of course, we know that these values will continue to live on with the children and grandchildren. At this point in time, I invite you to stand. Give the rest of the flowers here, share it up on my side with you. As we offer the final lines of benediction and blessings, we pray that Bhagwan Krishna will accept the deceased into his divine embrace. May you, O Lord, oversee his journey through Yamlok. If there are any dangers or difficulties or obstacles ahead in his pathway, through divine blessings, may these be removed as you guide him, steering him clear of all dangers and difficulties. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, 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 Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We bow our heads now in this final prayer. Annadhino dhara Vishnu Sankachakra Garadharam Aparo Pundari Kaksham Rakshatvam Sarvato Disah Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Bandhusya Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Bole Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai, Shri Satya Sanatan Dharam Ki Jai. Offer the flowers. So we'll allow a few moments for the final viewing of the body as we make arrangements now for departure to the Mosquito Creek population.
This headache?
Yeah, when I go back to the just
This time I just classic, but foot first. We have to put it on
Yeah.
picking up without it going on.